Yo, what's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And happy Monday to all you lovely people, man.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
Only reason I'm doing that, to be honest, is because we all know Monday sucks. And Monday is only great because it's football season. Football season has officially begun. So we got to also speak happiness into existence because we also, with football season, we get Monday Night Football. And Monday Night Football be so fire, and it's so awesome. So want to make y'all Monday great. And also, first day of pads, first day of full pads, man. We really get to start seeing who's who in this team, man. We get to start seeing how things really going to look. But guys, gals, everything else, everybody else in between, we get to talk about the Panthers one more time. And I got some updates from over the weekend because, obviously my video went up before they finished practice on Friday, and then they also had practice on Saturday, but they were off on Sunday. So here are some of the updates I got from over the weekend. And as you can see, few things on the docket. Number one, it was hot. Boy, this weekend was brutally hot, and always, I don't get it, bro. Sometimes I wonder if Satan just loves to live in the Carolinas when August comes around. I think that's his vacation home because it don't make sense how hot it be getting. It don't make sense how hot it be getting down here, bro. So it was hot all over the weekend, hundreds across the board, to the point where they had to take a break in the middle of practice. It was like, hey, yo, everybody go cool off and whatnot. So that's wild to me. Derrick Brown finally made his official camp debut for this season after welcoming the birth of his fourth child. Hey, man.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
Congratulations, Derrick. Hey, I'm happy for you and your family. I think we're all, you know what? I want you to see my face. Derrick, we are all happy for you and your family on bringing in your fourth child. I don't think anybody's mad about that. So congratulations to y'all. That's a blessing in of itself, man. Then going forward in some moves that happened over the weekend, you had at the outside linebacker position, J.J. Weaver was signed as an undrafted free agent while Amari Bonner was waived. Following that, cornerback Mello Dotson was signed, and he was actually waived earlier this week by the Raiders, and we claimed him off waivers. And MJ Devonshire was actually waived. So few signs and a few things there, and I'll speak on that more in a second. And then lastly, Mike Jackson was locking up TMac in 1v1s? Oh. Woo! All right, man. We gotta talk about it. First things first, because I've already spoken on the Heat. I've already spoken on Derrick Brown finally making his debut, which I'm happy to see. The signings of the undrafted free agents. This is telling me something. At the outside linebacker position and at the cornerback position, two spots that a lot of Panther fans, including myself, have been clamoring for signing a proven free agent, somebody that is like a big name, anything of that nature. And the front office went the undrafted free agent route. To me, that is showcasing that they are prioritizing youth over a household name. They are prioritizing youth over experience because I'm thinking they're playing the long game. They want to find a gem or somebody who, A, has the talent and the potential and is going to be there for the long haul. It's not a bad play by any means. I don't think it's wrong because you want to get the most bang for your buck. You get what I'm putting up? You're picking up what I'm putting down. So because of that, you would naturally sign a younger player and somebody who is relatively on the cheaper end. That this way you don't break the bank. Because let's call it for what it is. Cornerback position, they could have hired Asante Samuel by now. Linebacker position, that would have been a little bit harder, but you could have went and found somebody. You could have went and found somebody there. But to go with the undrafted free agent route, that tells me some things. That tells me where your priorities at. And then last thing I do want to address here for this first segment, Mike Jackson versus T-Mac. So apparently on Saturday, Mike Jackson and T-Mac went one-on-one three different times. They had one-on-ones oh my God, English is... Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, man. They went up against each other 3 different times, and Mike Jackson, according to reports and everything, and this is on the Panthers.com page, beat T-Mac all 3 times. It was 3-0 sweep. Nothing to be said. And to me, that leads 2 questions. It raises 2 questions. One, does this showcase that Mike Jack has grown into being a solidified lockdown corner, a solidified number 2? Because J.C. Horn has been taking on the matchup of going against T-Mac. We've been all saying iron sharpens iron. J.C. has been the one to be going up against T-Mac and taking on that assignment. But when J.C.'s not doing it, Mike Jack is stepping up and he's being successful. And everybody's praising T-Mac as a potential number 1 receiver. So that leads me to think, all right, if he can hold down T-Mac, he may actually be able to hold down a bunch of other receivers. Now, granted, T-Mac ain't, for example, a Mike Evans. T-Mac is still a rookie, so I have to take that into account. But that does bode the question of, has Mike Jackson grown into that number 2 that we want across from JC? Now, to play devil's advocate and to flip it to the other side, the question really could be, the other question that could be posed, the other question that could be posed with this information would be, is T-Mac not ready?
Huh?
You know what I mean? Is T-Mac still not ready to be that number 1 guy, and are Leggett, Thielen, and Coker going to kind of have to shield him? Because I don't know. I'm not there. Practices have been closed off. So I don't know exactly how T-Mac's been looking up against both Horn and Jackson. They don't have a stat tracker to be like, oh yeah, today he beat him 3 times. Or at least they don't have a consistent stat tracker every day. We only know about the matchup results when the news outlets that are there, aka the team, tell us. But if I'm taking this information for what it is, he lost to Mike Jackson all 3 times. And a lot of you in the comment section do not believe in Mike Jackson like that. You're like, Mike Jackson isn't that guy. We got to go sign and get another corner. So if T-Mac is losing to the guy that y'all don't have faith in, and I'm not saying all of y'all, and I'm not even saying half of y'all. This is probably a portion of you. There's a certain portion there. So I'll rephrase that. Not most. A good portion of you will say 33%. 30%. Believe that Mike Jackson ain't a great corner and we got to go find somebody to replace him because he's not it at all, will not be it. If he's not it and T-Mac isn't beating him in one-on-ones, does that mean T-Mac ain't it either? Now, my answer to that question is absolutely not. I think T-Mac definitely has that potential and has that gift as a receiver. I 100% believe that. But I could see somebody asking that question. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, I could chalk it up to just, it was just Mike Jackson's day. Keep it pushing because T-Mac could come back today, later on today in practice and beat Mike Jackson 3 times straight. You know what I mean? So, those are some of the updates from the weekend. I do think those are kind of interesting stuff to track. And I know some of y'all have sat there and been like, oh, I'm a drama queen. I'm not talking about football. Or you want factual news, because I have seen that going around. Guys, it's off season. Don't know if you noticed, I can only do but so much unless you just want consistent history lessons all the time. A lot of the offseason is somewhat drama-filled. A lot of the offseason is somewhat speculation. A lot of the offseason is, hey, what are the potentials of this? I'm giving you the facts as I'm getting them from the sources from Panthers.com and things of that nature. And there's some people who think I'm just only focused on the drama. Bro, it's the offseason. The offseason is full of drama because we don't have the games to show us the facts and the numbers to back it up. But I digress. It is a valid criticism. Y'all want more factual news? Then tell me what factual news you want, and I'll give it to you, man. I want to make sure all y'all happy, X, Y, and Z. But I think I'm doing. I think what I'm. At the end of the day, it's all season. I'm going to just do what we got to do, bro, and talk about what we got to talk about. But we're running too long. Next thing, man. So what's the reason a wide receiver is going to get cut this year? What is going to be the X factor that leads to wide receivers getting cut? Because we all know our wide receiver room is too huge, it's too big, it's too long. Pause, if needed. But I'm really curious, and Coach Canales has come out and I think he's revealed what's going to lead to the decision making in cutting certain receivers. And here's what he had to say. He said, those last couple spots, whether it's the secondary room or the wide receiver room, really come down to who we can count on in special teams. We're big believers. That's part of our heart and soul of our philosophy of building this team as good as football players, and those guys show up in the game. They can cover and make tackles. They can play gunner. You can put them as returners. You can put them at PP. So it's the versatility of the skilled players, tight ends included. You know who you are. Who are the guys we can count on special teams. And he followed that up with this second part of the quote. He's like, that's really what's going to make the decision because, again, you get one ball. You got about 3 wide receivers, sometimes 4 out there, so you're really playing with about 4 guys, and those 5th or 6th guys, sometimes it's hard to find those guys a role. It's the same thing in the secondary. So when you know who they can play on those teams, you've always got a helmet for them because they're going to help us regardless of our special teams in those units. Hey, listen, Coach.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
That makes sense, and I'm all for it. I am all for it. If special teams is what makes or breaks you from making the roster, then, hey, I'm all for it because at the end of the day, that's just extra depth. I'm cool with that. I'm 100% on that tip because if we're being honest, that's how Steve Smith started with the Panthers. He was our punt returner, and then he became the greatest wide receiver that we've had.
Message.
You tell me, bro. So if that's what it comes down to, I'm all for it. And when we look at the current depth chart, I pulled this depth chart from ESPN.com, so that's where I got it from. Here's what we got. First string, you have Tedero McMillan, Adam Thielen, and Xavier Legette. Second string, back up to McMillan is Jalen Coker. Back up to Thielen is Hunter Renfrow, and back up to Legette is David Moore. And now I know some of y'all probably going to look up there, well, why is Jimmy Horn in the photo and the graphic up there? Well, we also know Jimmy Horn is more than likely going to be the punt returner or kick returner on special teams, barring any crazy outside entities and whatnot. So your 7, that's who it's looking like. And when I think about it, even in a special teams aspect, this makes sense. Because we've seen what Coker can do. We know what Renfro can do with special teams, and both as a receiver and on special teams. Man lays the wood, and David Moore has been doing this for a grip. So when it's all said and done, that actually makes sense. And I think that's going to be the final 7. It's going to be McMillan, Thielen, and Liggett, then Coker, Renfro, Moore, and then Horn Jr. is going to be the 7th and final guy, and then everybody else, probably practice squad moving forward from there. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that's probably the way it's going to be. And then lastly, guys, the third thing I do, well, not even lastly, thirdly, do want to talk about is, can this specific Panther be number 1 at their position on the team? So, I was having a conversation with a few people, and the conversation came up where they said Jalen Coker could be the number 1 receiver this year, that he's their number 1. So I started to think about it, and I was listening, and I was sitting there running it through my head, and I'm like, it's possible schematically looking at it. And here's what I mean. From a matchup standpoint, I think it's very possible that Jalen Coker could be the number 1 or have number 1 numbers. First reason why. TMac and Liggett are the big bodies and are expected to have targets thrown their way, especially in the end zone, right? Adam Thielen, the crafty, savvy veteran who everybody is expecting to get the ball in clutch situations or when it's first down, right? So eyes are on them. Because of that, nobody's going to be watching Jalen Coker. You're going to end up leaving linebackers in their 4th or 5th best corner on Jalen Coker. And I don't know about y'all, but I 100% believe in Jalen Coker over any team's 3rd or 4th best corner or any linebacker that tries to cover him. I'm taking that every time. That's a mismatch I love. We know he can produce like a number 1 because last year, when Liggett was supposed to be the number 1, Coker put up almost the same amount of numbers as Liggett. Why am I saying Liggett? It's Leggett. I know. I don't know why I just realized that. It's Leggett. I apologize for that, y'all. I literally just went on that. I sunk back into like old diatribe. It's Leggett. Let me clear that up. Coker can put up the same numbers as Leggett. And then because of that, if he was to get the same amount of targets because he's open, that would in turn produce number 1 receiver numbers. Because yes, you're going to throw to McMillan. Yes, you're going to throw to Leggett. Yes, you're going to throw to Adam Thielen. You're going to. But if you're always going for the matchup advantage, which I feel Bryce is going to do, Jalen Coker is going to be that guy. He's going to be the one to take advantage. So, do I think Coker can be a number 1 in terms of just statistics? It is very possible. Schematically, it is very, very possible. I will say that. And then, last thing, we will get out of here. Before we get out of here, man, it's time for Panther Nation. Speak your truth, baby. Time for y'all to speak y'all truth. Tell me what you got going on in your brains and your hands. And here we go. First one comes up from Charlotte. My man said, I'm not too worried about the turnovers from Bryce. It's definitely something to keep in mind. No turnovers ever are good. But the defense definitely knows Bryce and his tendencies, and they're bound to happen. Training camp is competitive, and these players that they may be doubted. And these players that may be doubted are here to show out, and I like to see the competition. It only makes Bryce better in the end. Charlotte, my man, you are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. It is harder. Your stats do look worse when you're playing your teammates because your teammates know what you like to do and what you don't like to do. Shoot. That's why I hate playing like basketball or football or baseball or anything against my best friends who've played with me for so long, because they know what I like to do and what I don't like to do, and it's easier for them to pick me apart. So, hey, you're not wrong there, my boy. Next comes from Big Chief 82. He said, yo, I wasn't expecting to come in here and get emotional today, but too late. My wife and mother of my son passed away in 2014, and her favorite song of all time was the Humpty Dance. I loved it, by the way, just wasn't expecting it. Did you know Tupac was a dancer for the video in that song? That was right before he became Thug Life. Hey. Man, I'm happy I could help share in a core memory for you, man. That's truly a blessing and an honor. I hope it made you smile. I hope your wife's looking down. She was happy to see it. I did that honestly on a whim. I had no intentions of doing it up until I started recording the last video. Right before I started recording, I said, you know what? I think that would be fun to do. And I just wanted to be silly and be me. That's who I am. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it made your day, man. I'm glad it made your day. I'm glad it really did. And then lastly, comes from John Kirshner 642. My man said, personally, I would love to see one of them edge guys get defensive rookie of the year, but any of them would be great. Still looking side-eye at the defense until I see him play. Let's see that shirt and drop a link. I would rock it. If y'all don't know what he's talking about or didn't watch the last video. So, long story short. Was it Icky? Was it Icky who was at it? No, Icky. Yeah. Icky Kwanu was saying that the O-line was like the Guardians of the Galaxy. And so I came up with the phrase Guardian of the Carolinas. And I'm like, you know what? I think that would be a cool shirt to make. So I'm in the process of designing something myself. And I just want to see how it comes out. And I might really do that. Yeah, I think I'm in the process of designing it and want to see what y'all think. So we'll come back to that. Man. But with all that being said, guys, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be reminded when these videos drop, man. Next, hey, comment below and let me know. How do you feel about the weekend updates? Like, were y'all hot this weekend? Anything? How do you feel about Mike Jack beating TMac one-on-one 3 straight times? Happy to see Derek Brown back, and about the signings that have occurred. 2, do you think special teams should be a legit decision factor in cutting our receivers? Yes or no? And 3, do you think Jalen Coker has the potential to be the #1 receiver this year statistically as an advantage matchup? Let me know in the comment section below, because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all you Panthers Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.